Hey everyone, this is your Assembly candidate for District 2, Will Schleisner, coming at you with another podcast. I know it's been a little while since I had these. I figured it was now an appropriate time to once again lay one of these out. So, obviously, we're going to talk about what's on everybody's mind right now, and that's the coronavirus outbreak, COVID-19, which is affecting our state currently more than anybody else's. Florida is getting affected pretty heavily. Washington, prior to us, got affected pretty heavily. We are now at ground zero for this outbreak, and we are in a state of lockdown. And it is, I think, frustrating for a lot of people to be stuck in the house and not have human contact. Some of us have families, others don't, to spend time with, and it's definitely, I think, hopefully will make us appreciate being together as a society a little more than we were prior to this outbreak, where we would sit on our phones, we would look down, at Starbucks or just, on the train. God forbid we made eye contact with anybody. Hopefully we get past that now, and hopefully we appreciate when we can all get together again and just enjoy each other's company a little more. So what's going on with COVID-19 right now in our state? It is spreading like wildfire. The hospitals are coming close to being at their breaking point, and we really need to start practicing social distancing, staying in the house, staying away from people. I know this is a big controversy within my community that people are still going out to the parks. And yes, the governor had said that you can go to the parks, but, he meant more along the lines of, like, go for a walk if you have to, go on a hike. These are things you can do. It did not mean go to the beach. Apparently, and there have been videos of it circulating locally, Cedar Beach has been packed with people. That's not social distancing. We need to take more drastic steps. If we ever want to get back to normal, people need to start following the guidelines that are being set up for people. Otherwise, we're going to end up being on a mandatory lockdown, right? Like, people are frustrated. People want to go back to work. People want to go be with their coworkers. People want to make money. It's hitting our economy hard. And if we don't take the necessary steps as people, we're never going to get back to normal. We're going to be here forever doing the same exact thing, trying to play catch up. So just take the reasonable steps. Don't go in crowds of people. If you have to go to the store, wear gloves if you have them. I understand if you don't. Wipe down the cart. Just do the things that we probably should have all been doing anyway, and start being responsible for ourselves, because that's all we can control at this point. Now, the governor announced today, and today is the 27th of March, that the schools will now be closed until April 15th. I would personally expect that to get extended at least till the end of April. That's just my assumption. I don't think we're going back anytime soon, and that's unfortunate. My kids are starting to ask questions. We hadn't really explained it to them, or the older one anyway. Started to see commercials on YouTube about COVID-19 and what that is, and we've had to explain it to them, and it's a difficult conversation to explain without terrifying a child, and it's not easy to explain these things to kids, and basically all the things that we have asked them to do forever are the things that we need to be doing. Wash your hands, cough into your crook of your elbow. These are all things that we have instilled in our children that honestly a lot of us don't do ourselves. And, our kids should be able to adapt, probably a little easier than us. So, it's difficult, being at home and trying to homeschool and trying not to let our kids fall behind. I mean, we're lucky enough that both of our kids do not have developmental issues, but there are kids that do. And those kids are probably suffering more than anything else, more than anyone else, because they are not at home. They're at home with people that aren't necessarily trained to teach them the way they need to be taught, and they're hopefully not going to regress, but there's a serious risk of regressing from these kids, and we want to get those children back to school as quickly as possible, because it's really going to be hard for them to dive back into the school year, and which is school year that's probably going to get extended to the summer. I would expect. I wouldn't book your vacations right before the summer. So what can we do as a community to help our economy? I think that's a big question people have, is how can we help? And it's a great question. And one of the things I think that I've been trying to do is I've been trying to eat out more. Not eat out, but get takeout more. Not something I tend to do a ton. Me and my family try to stay within our budget, which has just had a grenade thrown in it this month, but we try to stay in our budget. But this time, I'm trying to help out these local businesses. Trying to, I'll get curbside takeout from the local pizzeria or the local Greek place and Chinese food, and just helping out these local businesses that are going to be hit harder than anyone else. These businesses are going to suffer tremendously. These are businesses that have small margins for success, and they are now in a position where they're going to be in trouble when they come back. So I hope that people are supporting these local businesses in that way, and if not, maybe buy gift cards to these businesses. Go out. There are local delis that are still open that are instituting social distance policies. Today, I got my family some ice cream from the local ice cream shop, and they had social distance policy. You were outside until you could go inside. It was very specific. It had a sign that said, "Do not come inside until we call you in," and I think that is a great strategy. And I still was able to support that local business. They are the best ice cream shop in town. I won't say who they are, but I personally, I think that is a great way to support local businesses. The gift cards. Tip the people helping you at the restaurants if you can, because those people are suffering too. The waiters and waitresses who would normally get tips aren't getting tips right now. And I hope that the restaurant businesses if they are surviving, are able to pay them a little more than their waiter or waitress salaries. So one of the big things that come out of this, I think, is the importance of leadership and what the lack of leadership can do to a response to this. On one end, in New York here, we have Governor Cuomo, who has suddenly become a countrywide star, right? Like Governor Cuomo does not have a lot of fans, even in the Democratic caucus. He's our governor, but I wouldn't say that prior to this he was super well liked. But right now he is a rock star. He is on CNN with his brother, having very funny conversations, lightening the mood up a little bit. The two of them, Chris Cuomo and Andrew Cuomo, are hysterical when they go at it, in a way only siblings can go into. It's pretty great. But he has shown that it's important to have leadership in the executive branch, and he is in the executive branch of the local government, of the state government, and he has shown a strong ability to lead. And then you have the other end of the spectrum, and that is Donald Trump. And he has not shown the ability to lead. I think he has lost some serious support, not just economically, but you look at his response to this. I think that all across the board, people are frustrated with the response nationally from this. And it's basically been put on the governors to have the response that they need to have to stop this pandemic. Now, some governors have responded, like Andrew Cuomo. I think the governor of New Jersey and the governor of Connecticut have all joined forces, and along with Pennsylvania, with Andrew Cuomo, and all of them have done a great job of keeping the tri-state area or the quad state area kind of on the same page with what we need to do, and all three of them have done a great job. And then you have DeSantis down in Florida, who is terrible to begin with. He isn't even responding to it at all. He's kept things open, beaches open, as we all saw the photos of spring breakers acting like fools and not caring, because this isn't affecting children. This isn't affecting teenagers. So these spring breakers, these 20-year-olds, they think they're invincible, right? Until they bring it home to their parents, who might not be invincible. And then suddenly they're going to be really upset they did what they did. But, it's up to the governor, Ron DeSantis, down there to do the right thing and shut down those beaches, because this is prime time in Florida, right? And I get it. Like, he's sitting there looking at the economy, staring at businesses, and businesses are saying we don't want to close. But you know what? Sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, you have to put people's lives over the economy. Always. We have the president saying that Easter, we plan to be open. I don't really know what he means by that. He hasn't closed anything. He can't reopen something that he hasn't closed. The governors are going to do what they think is in the best interest of the state, and I would not expect us to be at full bore economy by Easter. I would expect that as cases start to slow down and hospitalizations have started to slow down, we will start to open things back up again. But we take a risk there, right? We take a risk. inviting big crowds back together. Now, I believe that will probably be a moratorium on concerts and sporting events with fans for at least the first half of the summer. That's my opinion. I know that baseball, we just missed opening day. I think it was supposed to be yesterday. And that was kind of a sad day for me as a sports fan. I always look forward to opening day. And it really was it's one of those days that hit home that really, you've had a couple days where I think you get hit in the gut a little bit about what's going on here. And that was one of them. That, just gliding past opening day of baseball was incredibly frustrating. So for me, I look at it and go, I think baseball will be back in June. I don't think there'll be crowds in June. I think the next time we see crowds, maybe July or August. But I think at some point we're going to get at least on with the sports, and I hope we do, just for my own mental state. You get at nighttime and you can only watch crazy things on Netflix like Tiger King so much, but you miss sports. I know a lot of people, even those that don't love sports, it just being on in the background is something you're used to, right? If you have a spouse that loves sports, it's on in the background. Like, what's on in the background now? Probably the cable news, and that's no good for anybody, in my opinion. Nobody should be watching 24 hours worth of cable news, but it's what we're doing right now because we're trying to get updates. So I'm looking forward to getting back to normal, but back to leadership. Kind of ranting here a little bit, but back to leadership. The stark difference in leadership just shows you how important it really is. The executive branch isn't there to legislate. Typically, it's there to have a proper response in a crisis. And we had this problem with our president in Puerto Rico after the awful hurricane that destroyed that place, destroyed Puerto Rico. And there was no response. And you know what? We largely, as the continental United States, said, we don't care. We did. Let's be honest here. We kind of just threw Puerto Rico under the bus. We said, his response was terrible, but oh well. They're America. Puerto Rico is a part of the United States of America. And we did not treat that response, because that was just a microcosm of what we're seeing now, right? Like, that place got devastated. Puerto Rico got devastated, and we didn't care as a country. We let it go. And now here we are, staring down the barrel of a pandemic, okay, that could get completely out of control. And we have somebody ill-equipped to lead this state, to lead this country out of this pandemic properly. He hasn't issued any executive orders. His focus has been the economy. He's worried about the stock market. That's the only thing that'll get him reelected. So I believe that, when we look at the importance of leadership, the stark difference between the governor and the president is remarkable. And not just the governor. I won't even just kill the president here. I will throw de Blasio under the bus too. He doesn't affect me. I don't live in the city. I don't work in the city. But his response has been less than stellar as well. So with all of this, the campaign is changing. This campaign is changing. All campaigns are changing. We have, typically, a campaign like mine, a grassroots campaign like mine, would go door to door, right? We would knock on as many doors as possible. In fact, we were in the process of doing that when this all broke out. We were getting signatures, and I was talking to voters, and it was a great time. But we had to cut that short. And the unfortunate thing now is I won't be able to go out door to door right now. I don't know if before the primary I'll be allowed to go door to door. I'm not going to put people at risk for my campaign if the moratorium on social distancing kind of eases up. I'm probably still going to avoid going door to door for people, not for my safety. I'm 36 years old. I'm in good health. My whole family's in good health. But I look at it as other people. I don't want to be the carrier of something, happening to shake somebody's hand at the door or knocking on their door and leaving something behind and giving them the virus. I'm not going to do that. So I'm not going to be the one to go door to door if this virus hasn't calmed down significantly. So that changes how a campaign like mine is going to function. In addition to that, there were going to be a lot of events coming up in May and April that me and my opponent were going to be at to get to know the voters and to show the difference between all of us. And those aren't going to happen now. Now, I have brought up to my opponent, Laura Jen Smith, I'd like to do an online debate. Right? We have the capabilities now. We don't have to be in front of crowds. I would like to do an online debate with her. She said she'd think about it. I personally think people are telling her don't do that, and I get it from a strategy standpoint. She's got the name value, right? People know who she is. She's a former Riverhead town supervisor. Me, I'm just this. I have no name, right, to anybody. Okay, I have to introduce myself. So if I were in her shoes, I get it. But let's be honest here. We need to get in front of the voters as much as possible. So I have asked her to do an online debate. I will let somebody else moderate it. I don't need to moderate it. I can help with the technological side of things. Part of my job is streaming technology, so I can help pull it off. But if she wants a specific moderator around, I'm fine with that. But I'm not holding my breath on that. I'm going to personally hold as many live chats as possible and hopefully get more people involved in my campaign. I'm going to do some videos. I'm going to do these podcasts on a regular basis. I'm making phone calls right now to people. And the response has been pretty positive about the campaign. People are kind of happy that there's somebody calling them, which I found unusual because I've called for people in the past, and it's usually why are you calling me? Like, because nobody likes to answer the phone anymore. You're able to screen the calls, but now people are like, oh, somebody's calling me, great, because people are stuck at home. They don't mind somebody new to talk to, and they have actually. It's been surprising to me the response I've gotten from voters, and I think it's a pretty great thing, and I'm very happy with it. With that said, I hope everybody stays strong. I know this is a tough time. To be stuck in the house. Luckily today, the 27th, is beautiful out. I know this weekend, the 28th and the 29th, are not supposed to be as nice. But hopefully we get some nice days out where we can at least take walks with the family, throw the ball to the dog like I've been doing. We got our new puppy. And I hope everybody out there just stays strong. Keep social distancing properly. Don't be in crowds. Go to the store as little as possible if you can avoid it. I understand everybody's got to get food, everybody's got to eat. Don't hoard toilet paper, okay? I don't know where this toilet paper thing came from. We don't need endless amounts of toilet paper. Let people get toilet paper. If you already have toilet paper, leave the toilet paper on the shelf. Everybody will be able to wipe their butts, okay? If not, let's all get bidets. Let's start the new market for bidets. What else? Look, if you have any questions for me, you can email my campaign at info@willschleisner.com. You send questions right there. There's also a form at willschleisner.com. You can message me on Facebook. I'm on Twitter now. I have 102 Twitter followers. Last time I checked, that's pretty great. I'm pretty excited about that. My friend Skylar Johnson has considerably more than me. He's been helping me figure out how to get more Twitter followers. It's interesting, the dynamic on Twitter, but seriously, there's ways to contact me. I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be doing more podcasts. I'm going to hopefully do a podcast on the New York Health Act fairly soon. The signatures and the pandemic have put a wrinkle in what I'm going to do as far as podcasts go. But, the New York Health Act now, more than ever, makes sense for the state, I think. And I look forward to speaking with everybody in the future. And I definitely would love to have a debate with my opponent. And I hope you all get to have that debate and be able to look at that when we all get down to, the time to vote in June. Okay. And hopefully the governor does institute mail-in voting, because I don't think we should be going to the polls like we normally do. I think we should be able to go out and, just pop it in the mailbox and go from there. And I know that, of course, scares people, doing things differently, but I think we have to adjust with the time. So I look forward to seeing everybody online and on the phone. All right. Thanks, everybody.